Good evening, guys, and welcome to this week's, this month's training. Today we're going to be focusing on letting go of some pain, because that's what you guys voted in the top spot in the poll. So let's do this. Let's first talk a bit about the dynamics of what pain is, okay? So in this training, it's all about releasing pain. It's letting go of pain. Well, first of all, what is pain? Pain, largely, is a somatic response. It's a physical experience in the body. Something hurts. Feelings hurt. The body's in pain, that kind of thing. Very simple, obviously. If you're in pain, you can point to where it hurts, right? And it's an uncomfortable sensation. That's pain. Then you have this other thing that comes in with this, which gets us really stuck, and that is story. See, in our world, we have our pain. We're experiencing like grief or breakup or sadness or disappointment. And then we have this thing called story. And story comes in and it says, this is happening for these reasons. You're going through this breakup because that person, you're not worthy of love. You're going through this breakup because you didn't do it right. You shouldn't be going through this pain because of XYZ. The story gets in there and either tells us why the pain shouldn't be happening, why you're a victim in it, or the pain shows up to tell you why you deserve it and blame you for it. So it tends to be a very negative experience, okay? So the first thing to get out of pain is we need to become cognizant or aware of what we're telling ourselves, what our programming is feeding us about our emotions, about our story, about what's going on, because that story is going to inflate that pain. It's going to amplify it, and it's going to keep it stuck, and you're just going to loop round and round and round about things. A lot of times, stories are going to have elements of denial in it, especially if you're going through things that you didn't choose and that ended up in putting you in a position you didn't want to be in because you trusted someone. That we got to be really, really mindful of, because, we got to accept that I made the choice too. I'm involved in this too. Now, there's a big caveat in this. When it comes to abuse, being physically, emotionally, sexually, mentally abused, you didn't choose that, so you don't have to own that. That's, they are violating your boundaries and your innocence there, okay? Now, when it comes to trauma, it's the same thing. You didn't choose the trauma. It's not something you elected for. You didn't go to Amazon and buy it. It's something that showed up in your life and it has impacted you. So, number one, we got to be very aware of the story, what that looks like, and what we might be telling ourselves about that, because our story is going to add significance to the pain we're going through, and that's going to make it harder for us to let go of the pain if we think that this has some intrinsic value to us, especially our worth. Okay? All right. So that's key number one. Key number two on letting go of pain is we got to acknowledge that it's okay to feel the pain, that it's okay that it's there, that it's okay that you're experiencing it. It's okay that it's happening, and it's okay that you're not okay with it. That's essential to getting through pain, because if you're not willing to receive your pain, you're not going to be able to let it go. Instead, you're going to be resisting it, which is going to be a lot like putting your thumb over the end of a hose, and it's just going to make the pain more intense. But when you're willing to receive that pain, then you can let it go. So we're going to use a couple of tools, a couple of approaches with this that are going to help you move through this. First one we're going to do is the flow method. Okay, flow method is a 3-stage process of understanding, accepting, and allowing what you've gone through and how you feel about it. Hi, Trish. Hey, Layton. Hi, Jessica. Hey, Kate. So that's what we're going to practice right now. So if you've got pain in your life right now, something that you're experiencing, and follow along with me in this. So step one is to understand. So understand your situation. What is the situation you went through? Let's say it's a hypothetical situation. I'll choose one like, I understand that I have been, a lot of people are going through breakups lately. So I have been dumped. I understand that I've been dumped. And then let's access how you feel about it. So let's say Sally's been dumped. So Sally feels really upset and confused about it. So Sally would say, I understand that I've been dumped, and I understand that I'm upset and confused about it. Then we move to accept. I accept that I've been dumped, and I accept that I feel confused and angry about it. And that moves us to allow. I allow myself to remain dumped, so we don't have to change the situation, and I allow myself to be angry and confused about it. That's the flow method. And this allows us to cognitively let pain move. Let it move out. Because a lot of times people breathe that in and they're like, wow, yeah, that feels better. That feels better. So that's one way of doing this. Second way of letting go of pain are some questions that come from the Sedona method, developed by Lester Levinson and promoted by Hale Dwoskin. Very powerful question method tool. And so these questions are hypothetical. There are 3 of them, and there's 2 answers. The answer to question 1 is yes. The answer to question 2 is now. And then the answer to question 3 is to check in with yourself and see what's actually there. Now, I encourage you to just say yes and now to the first 2 questions just to see how it works for you. Because there's some real value in giving it some space and opportunity to work. Okay? So, here we go. If you could, would you accept the pain that you're feeling? And if you could do that, when would you do that? How does that feel? Now breathe that in. It's okay if it didn't change. It's okay if it got bigger or if it got smaller. No biggie. So another question. If you could, would you accept that your pain is legitimate? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And check in and see how that pain feels now. Did it get bigger, smaller, or stay the same? Okay. Third set of questions. If you could, would you allow yourself to let go of 10% of that pain? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And check in and see how that feels for you. Just breathe that in. Let that land. Okay. And there's another set of questions. If you could, would you let go of making your pain wrong? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And how does that feel? Okay. And one last set of questions. If you could, would you let go of any significance you've given this pain? And if you could do that, when would you do that? And how's that feel? See, now we've allowed yourself to expand beyond the pain a little bit. So allow yourself, if you could, I'll give you another set of questions. If you could, would you allow that relief, if you felt that, come in a little closer, come in a little deeper? And if you could do that, when would you do that? How does that feel? There you go. These are very easy ways to let go of pain, because pain is both a mental and a physical experience. And largely, pain sticks around because mentally we're getting in the way. We're trying to control it, fix it, get rid of it, deny it, heal it, that kind of thing. And if we're going to get really deep on moving beyond codependency, moving beyond the discard trauma, moving beyond the shame, the emptiness, the loneliness, moving into the validity of our pain and knowing what our true voice is, being able to access our value and actually see and follow our vision, we've got to be willing to receive these things. And we've got to be willing to let pain go so we can find out what else is beyond it. Because a lot of times we make pain meaningful. We give it a reason. We give it a purpose, a story, a significance. We let that go. We can actually honor the pain we actually feel while accessing love and compassion for ourselves. So these are two very simple ways to let pain move through you. Now, it's not going to eliminate pain because you can't, but you can move through it enough to where you achieve closure. Now, if you got trauma, you're going to want to join the happiness strategy so you can get work on your trauma using the closure technique, because that's designed specifically for trauma. But for for emotional pain, breakup, sadness, loss, grief, these are very powerful tools to help you navigate those feelings rather than get stuck in them and move more towards the legitimization of them. So when your feelings become legitimate, they get lighter and they move faster and you feel less pain because you're more congruent with who you are. Okay, guys, that's it. That's this week's training. We'll have another one of these in 2 weeks, just before Christmas. Appreciate the support you guys are giving each other in the community. Thank you for being here and being you. And remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good evening, guys.